No, usually it kicks over for me because I kind of watch it.
All
It's
right,
not
we're
a.
live. All right, welcome back to Full Throttle TV. We got the Gearhead Coffee Grand National Series tonight. Sorry, we already went through our introduction, but it didn't come across live. So here we are at Kentucky Speedway. We look in at the race weather here, very racy conditions, nothing much to see there. We'll go into our keys to the race fuel mileage. We had that last night where Russell Chernesky ran out of fuel out of 4, giving Casey Mcmullen the win. So it could happen here again tonight. They're on the verge of a one-stop race. Tires, we got 3 sets in the garage, 1 on the car. Could come into play here. A couple of cautions for sure that could find it and find your groove. The most important, I think, tonight, Brad, what we were talking about is this configuration here is brand new, similar to what the new Texas is, with 2 completely separate corners, one flat, one banked, and it's going to be, you can't be good on both ends, so you're going to have to pick and choose a bit.
Yeah, you really are. And this is one of those tracks that with the new configuration, it really catching people out. I've seen a lot of issues in practice here on the exit of turn 2. Cars are getting light. They're nosing it in the outside wall. So they got to be very careful. If you're a little too aggressive, it could really cost you in the end. It's kind of a little bit, reminds me a little bit of Iowa, if you will, on the bottom of the racetrack. It's going to get very flat. And if you try to overdrive that corner on the bottom, you can easily lose it, go to the inside. If you try to overcarry a little bit too much speed, you can kick yourself out to the outside, nose it in. So there's a lot of error that can be made on this racetrack, but you've really got to be careful and be consistent and just really go for the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially in this league, and we do have, a smaller amount of cars in the Xfinity Series here, in the Grand National Series, I should say. So, long runs, very possible. I expect that we could go green tonight. You never know. Should be highly entertaining. But right now, an old familiar face back on top of the board in Mr. Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby Terrell currently sitting second in our points, 1 point back from Bernard Persons, 3 points ahead of Ronnie Royal. I'm sorry, 2 points ahead of Ronnie Royal. So there's obviously not only close on the racetrack, but there's a massive points race going on currently in this series. And every single point's going to count not only from the starting order, but naturally from the finishing order. Did they get to lead that lap? I mean, every single point counts, especially when we're talking about 1 point difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole top 10, 10th place, Jason Spear only 36 points back, still in it. But Bernard Person leading Bobby Terrell by 1. Ronnie Royal only 3 back. Casey Mcmullen Sr. 14 back. Tim Bill 17 back. Then you got Chernesky, Long, Helm, Cooper Jr., and Spear. I mean, this is one heck of a battle in this series, Brad.
I mean, it really is. And speaking of Jason Spear, he's sitting in 10th place. He's the only driver in our top 10 with the win this year. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. This series has put out multiple winners, different kinds of winners on different tracks. Our top 10 has definitely been the most consistent. But who in the top 10 is going to break out, with the exception of Spear, and get their first win tonight, possibly?
Yeah, it could be any one of those guys. Those are a lot of high quality drivers in that top 10 without a win. It's almost unbelievable. And Jason Spears got to be ecstatic to hear his name called as the only one who has one. I mean, wow. I mean, he's been snake bit for so long, and it's so thrilling to watch him get that victory there. It was just amazing to see. But tonight, it's anybody's game. I mean, you literally could put up one of those bingo lottery balls, shake up the balls, roll it out to pick out who's going to win this race tonight.
And you know what? But that's every single week here in this series. I mean, there's so many talented race car drivers that show up week in and week out with this FTSR Xfinity Series. They showcase their talents week in, week out. Long green flag races, guys that can really put the wheel. And it's gonna be great to see. I mean, we got guys last night. I believe Casey Mcmullen was able to take the victory. Looks like he's going to be rolling off towards the top of the field. So it's going to be very interesting tonight.
Yeah, it really will. As we look at our starting order, down into these cars that are all seemingly in the complete dark down here. It's so bizarre down on pit road here at Kentucky. But let's get right into it. Bobby Terrell back on the pole. Back in control here with a time of 30.841. Nice to see that 4 mobile machine up there. Terry Cooper Jr. been improving each race, each week, each month. So look for him to have a good night. He'll be in the outside of row number 1 in the 25. The 99 of Donnie Staubach with a nice qualifying effort in 3rd. His teammate Casey Mcmullen Sr. will start in 4th. The 8 of Bernard Person, our points leader, will be in the 5th spot. Tracy Powers in the 45 will start in 6th tonight. Jared Carr, one of our guys up in the booth last night, will be starting in 7th. Brody Hanna makes his return, and he'll start in the 23 in the 8th spot. Then in 9th will be Jason Martin in the 9 car. On the outside of row number 5 will be Lane Allen in the 14.
In 11th position is going to be that 81 of Ronnie Royal. Stephen Loomis is going to roll off 12th with a final time of a 31.150. And then we're going to get into our drivers that failed to make a qualifying time. Sherwood Wilford, he's going to roll off 13th in that 33. Will Long is going to roll off 14th. Brian Bliss is going to roll off 15th, followed by Jason Spear, our only winner in the top 10 so far this season. He's going to roll off 16th. Then you're going to have Brandon Elder, David Hensley, Garrett Griffith, and Daryl Spear.
A couple of these guys have not gridded. I'm not sure what has happened to them. Hopefully they get in there and get gridded up.
Yeah, I believe Brandon Elder was having some connection issues. He has yet to rejoin the service, as well as, it just looks like Elder.
Unfortunate for Brandon there. Right now we're just about ready to get into the racing action here as Bobby Terrell in the mobile machine leads him down, following this pace car, waiting for the green to drop.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is down and away. The 4 takes off. Great job by the 25 up high there, hanging with them here. They go down into 1 side by side.
Absolutely. It was a great job by the 25 for Terry Cooper Jr. He's going to fall in line right behind the 4 of Bobby Terrell. They're going to be clear as the 25 looks like he's going to think about going to the inside and try to make a run going into turn 4, and he does. He's going to pack it in on the bottom of the 25 up there in the 4 car. He's really going to try not to push out. It's going to be a drag race to the line to see who's going to lead this first lap.
Wow, intense there. Bobby Terrell taking it on the high side, as the high side again already showing its muscle. It came in late last night. Looks like it's come in early tonight as Bobby Terrell running that high line very well.
Yeah, he's really got to be confident in his car on that top side, because there's going to be the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. Donnie Staubach is going to be looking to pounce right onto the back of the 25. So if the lower line is going to be the preferred line, he's going to be hung out to dry on the outside. But it looks like Donnie Staubach isn't going to have anything for the top 2, as the 4 car of Bobby Terrell is going to lead the second lap, as Terry Cooper Jr. is just not able to make the pass.
No, and he's got to be concerned now, making those deep dives, burning that stuff up, as they seem to get it all single filed out. Bobby Terrell prevailing in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Donnie Staubach was able to sit there and kind of observe everything going in front of him, but the man on the move looks like it's going to be Bernard Person. It looks like he's going to look to the inside of Donnie Staubach coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, Bernie's on the move early. He's always on it. That old Hellman's machine there, way down low. Donnie Staubach up high, kind of lets him go, I think, there, as the 8 will take 3rd spot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's able to clear him quite easily as you look at Donnie Staubach. And I agree. I think that was an issue where he's just going to let him go by. And right behind him, though, you're going to have that 71 of Casey Mcmullen. Definitely no stranger to victory lane here at Kentucky, as he was able to take it to the end of the Truck Series last night and take his victory. He's being pressured by the 45 of Tracy Byers right on the back door.
Yeah, definitely. Tracy Powers, someone who doesn't get a lot of airtime, been very good this season. Been really one of I don't know if I'd say most improved. He's fairly new to the league, but he's been a steady performer, Brad. Someone we've maybe overlooked a little bit in the past. We won't make that mistake going forward.
Yeah, I believe Tracy Powers is part of the Havoc Motorsports racing team. His teammate is right behind him in Jared Carr, so both of those cars looking to have a good night. A couple of Toyotas running through the field as Jared Carr is dealing with Jason Martin to his inside.
You know, we've been talking to Jared Carr a little bit about the racing and stuff and his thoughts on it. And you can see tonight they're letting that car go. Is this the evolution of the 7 car we've all been waiting for? He's been fast, but he's been fast early and fades. Is this the new Jared Carr? Is he saving a little bit and thinking long run here?
Yeah, I think only time's going to tell on that one. As we look back up front, is Bobby Terrell still being hunted by the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. Terry Cooper Jr. is definitely not letting him get away, and right on the back of him is going to be the 8 of Bernard Persons, followed by Donnie Stalex and Casey Mcmullen. That's currently your top 5, and they are nose to tail. Then nobody is getting away.
Yeah, quite a battle up front here. As like you said, nobody getting away. That's kind of cool to see out here. It's the same way last night. We seen like Tim Bills kind of pull out a little lead, if I remember correctly. But really, there was about 8 or 9 cars all accordion backed up together, and it was amazing to see just how close all the cars were.
Yeah, and if we look at our top 3, we're starting to see 3 distinctive lines. It looks like Bobby Terrell is able to put it down. He's entering a little bit higher than the rest of the field, kind of running that top side. You're getting the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. He's trying to put it definitely on the bottom, where it looks like the 8 car of Bernard Person, he's kind of going in a little bit high and kind of dominating the corner off. So 3 distinct, totally different ways that they're attacking this racetrack, and you know, which one's going to be the faster one at the end of the day? We're going to have to wait and find out.
Yeah, you can really see it there as we look in from the blimp, and you can just see the different entries, especially between the 4 and the 25. Very dramatic there.
Yeah, it's got to start making you think, though, is the 25 possibly using up his equipment a little bit, trying to just pinch it down on the bottom. With Bobby Terrell, he's running a little bit a higher line, not necessarily putting a lot of wheel into the car and able to keep the RPMs up, whereas this time you see him kind of diamond the exit of the corner, come down a little bit on the low side and get a little bit better grip and get a good launch off the backstretch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, Terry Cooper, similar to Jared Kerr in that fashion, has been known to burn up his stuff. As a matter of fact, he burned up his stuff last night in the second run. We'll see if he learned something from that. Looks like he has, as he gave up on that battle after a couple laps. Maybe, you don't really want to maybe burn him up in the first 2 laps, but been doing a good job ever since, just maintaining this gap.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and that 25 is closing out on the back of the 4 car, but at the same time, he's got to look in his mirror because he's got a mirror full of Bernard Persons in that 8.
Yeah, you can just see the way the 8, if you watch the line he runs, he is right on the bottom, especially in that last corner, whereas not everybody else is. So he seems to be a little more hooked up as Bobby Terrell touches the wall. Oh, and that's going to cost him here as he tries to fight back on the outside of the 25. He's going to do it. He's really doing well on that high line. I don't know why he ever gives it up.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just maybe possibly a lapse in judgment or, a little bit too much comfort, but he was able to get up in the wall, but he's still fighting on that outside. Terry Cooper Jr. is not going to give up.
No, we're going to have the 8 of Bernard Person now go to the high side. He's seen what Bobby Terrell's able to do up there. They're touching there, door to door, the 25 and the 8.
As the 25 still stays on the bottom, the 8 car is going to roll the top. It looks like he's going to clear him on the exit of 2. So set the 8 car, the 4 car, Bobby Terrell up front, Bernard Persons following right behind, followed by Terry Cooper Jr. going into 3, as Bernard Persons has his sights set solely on Bobby Terrell, our point. So this is a major points battle right here between our top 2 stars right now, running 1-2.
Yeah, it really is. This is a battle we've seen time and again over the last couple of seasons. And right here we go again as Bobby now is committing to that high side. And you can just see it's going to be really hard to pass him on the low side. If anybody can do it, it's at 8. But Bobby rolling the high side so very well.
Yeah, he really is. And that's just a matter of, hey, you know, will the 8 car end up using a little bit too much tire in order to get by this 4 car? Will this 4 change its line just to maybe do something a little bit different? Because the 8 car looks like he's going to dive to the bottom. He's going to force the 4 car to the outside. He's going to pack it in really tight. It looks like he's going to get the rotation. He's going to get that lead out and exit that 2 and 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's just hooked up the way he gets through the corner. The 8 just a little bit better on the bottom than anybody else I've seen tonight. Put Bernard Person on the point. And I mean, this could be a big night for him. But something while these guys are racing occurs to me. Fuel mileage. Who's thinking about it? Who isn't? Because it's got that green flag feel to it. And you've got to do, what, 58, 59 laps? That's going to be stretching it a bit.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think any of these guys currently right now are thinking about fuel mileage. I mean, if we look at our past, you know, we look at the 71 of Casey Mcmullen, last night's winner. He's currently running in 4th position. He's about 1.2 seconds back. He's got his hands full with Tracy Powers on his outside. He's certainly not saving fuel. So if he's not saving fuel, I don't think it's in anybody's playbook really to make it on one stop.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's a little too early to tell for that. Take a look back as we see Donnie Staubitz back here. I'm not sure what's happened to Donnie, but he has fallen off after starting in 3rd. He is now in 12th place.
I don't know. I have to take a good look at that right side of that car. I'm not sure if he might have had a little bit of damage. The right side of that car is definitely wrinkled up right at the right front quarter panel, so I got to assume that he got into the wall.
We'll just kind of run through in front of him. In front of him, you got Sherwood Williford, who's just got by Lane Allen. You put him up to 10th after starting 13th. Lane Allen right behind him started in 10th, now 11th. Jared Carr is right in here. He's in 9th after starting 7th. You've got Ronnie Royal is up in here. Ronnie Royal currently in 8th spot, doing battle with the 23 of Brody Hanna, who dives to the inside here of the 9 of Jason Martin. He's going to take that spot quite easily.
Yeah, I think up to that point, I think Jason Martin was our biggest leader of the race so far as spots gained, but he's going to lose a couple on that point.
Yeah, well, you make a move early, and then you're not as good late. As right in front of them, we see Casey Mcmullen started in 4th and starting to slip a bit. He's back to 5th. I don't know if he's saving or what's going on. You know, with him, he could be indeed saving gas. Ahead of him, you got Tracy Powers battling here with Terry Cooper Jr. He's in 4th, looking for 3rd on the high line. I think he's going to grab it. That's the extra high line there, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. He's painting the fence right now. He's going to go ahead and take over that 3rd position as he sets his sights on Bobby Terrell, but you know who's not right there? Bernard Person. He's stepped himself out to a 1.1 second lead, so he's starting to run away a little bit. But you know what? That 45 of Tracy Powers, he's looking awful racy right now, especially late in this run. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lap times he's able to pull. As it looks like the 4 got himself a little bit of the wall again on that lap.
Yeah, you see that a lot on entry for some reason here. These Xfinity cars, as I like to call them, something ugly, they're fat something, and you know they can do that to you. You swing it out on entry there, trying to get that big angle in, and you'll brush the wall with them.
It was a 45 is very loose on exit right there. He's trying to just kind of overturn it, try to get to the bottom of the 4, and he's going to put the back end just a little bit loose as they go into 1 and 2 here. We're going to have to see what he does. He's going to run just a little bit higher than the 4, try to close him on the back stretch.
He is, as we look back here with Brody Hanna. He's coming on the inside of Casey Mcmullen Sr. He's got the 81 of Ronnie Royal right there with him. They're doing battle. Ronnie Royal going to be thinking about doing battle with the 23 now. Looking like a little unsure there about the 23 or whether he's going to come down or not as they ride. Oh, very close there.
Here's a little bit of different strategy. You got the 99ers, Donnie Staubach, coming to pit road very early.
Wow, shocking. The 99 on pit road. He must have a problem. So unfortunate to see. I mean, he had one of his best qualifying attempts tonight. That is just terrible for him. We continue to watch the 23 and the 81 here as they are on the march. They may be the fastest cars on the track as they're closing in now on what would be fourth place, Terry Cooper Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. That particular last lap, Brody Hand on the 23, he turned a 32.93 to Bernard Persons 32.87. So not the fastest, but he's definitely one of. As far as second place, Tracy Byers to the 32.95. So he's right there on pace with our leaders. As Tracy Byers was actually able to get around the 4 of Bobby Terrell, and he's now going to set his sights on Bernard Persons.
It looks like, these spear cars are starting to come towards the front. You see the 81 get around the 23 of Brody Hanna, and all of a sudden, that familiar 33 of Sherwood Williford comes right to the bumper as that team's starting to show they got a little something here tonight. All of them moving forward.
Absolutely, and take in mind, Sherwood Wilford, he did not take a qualifying time. He started from 13th, so he's currently made his way up to the 7th position. So he's made up quite a few spots on this grid. Ronnie Royal, he started 11th. He's currently in the 5th position. So some of these cars are really starting to come to the front.
Yeah, man, are they just doing fantastic job here. I mean, we got comers and goers tonight. This is highly interesting as to how this will play out. And of course, you also have fuel mileage. So, I mean, I can't stress it enough. This is going to be close as far as I know. As we're on lap 27 of 117. If you break this down into thirds, you're looking at around 40 laps would be your pit stop. You want to go to halfway, you're looking at 59 laps. So we'll see at that point who's got what and who's going to pit win.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's on a bad note, it looks like Donnie Staubach's his troubles tonight ended up being a little bit more than we thought it was, as he's had to retire from the race tonight. William Long is also retired for the night. Unfortunately, those two drivers succumbed to a little bit too much of a damage.
Wow, really unfortunate to hear that for both of them. Right now, we look in on Tracy Powers. I mean, he is on the move. Is he the fastest guy on the track? He looks like he's running down our race leader, Bernard Persson.
He has been. He's been running about 0.2 a lap faster than Bernard Persons. The last particular lap, he was running a 32.90 to our leader and a 33.0. So he is faster than our leader right now, without a doubt. As it looks like Ronnie Royal is actually coming in on the back of the 4 of Bobby Terrell, challenging for that 3rd position.
Yeah, Ronnie Royal on the move as well, as the 4 seemingly fading a little bit from that early domination. He did have the pole tonight, just doesn't have that long run car quite yet, as he's going to take this from the 4 of Bobby Terrell. And Bobby's got more to be concerned with, because behind them you've got Brody Hanna and Sherwood Williford battling on track. Sherwood looking a little bit better. Oh, and then he gets a little loose off the corner and he's going to have to give it back. So he's going to have to continue to fight the 23 for that spot.
Yeah, and that is no easy pass. The 23 of Brody Hanna, he is the Ryan Newman of this series, without a doubt. You're going to put up a fight when you try to get around him. It seems like the 33's actually had a little bit faster of a car, but that 23 is not going to give you an inch. And, that's something that, he's going to try to get everything he can out of that car, as he's starting to actually close back in on the back of the 81. As the 4 of Bobby Terrell, it seems like he was able to get back around the 81 of Ronnie Royal. So this is not, by any stretch of the imagination, finished.
Not at all. So I don't know what happened there, but maybe Ronnie getting a little loose. His cars come and go. Some heavy racing here. All of a sudden, Brody Hanna on the move after almost being passed. Very interesting. And just to touch on that comment, I just have to say, Brad, I'm not sure he's going to like being called Ryan Newman, but...
I could just call him the showman. I mean,
oh, boy.
There.
Brody Hanna, we love him, man. He runs this league. He owns this league, so we say it in jest. But he's looking good, man. The last time I remember seeing him in this AutoZone car, Brad, he was in the zone. He got a race win.
He absolutely did. we always poke fun at Brody just because he's a good sport. Sometimes they come up here in the booth with us. And, we always have fun with it. And he's a great racer, one of the best racers out there on the track, and that's where we tend to do it. But you know what? Let's not take away from this battle here. I mean, this is a 4-car battle, and they are not giving an inch. Brody is going to go very wide. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a couple of spots on that one.
Yeah, he is. He's really high. We're starting to see some different cars. We're seeing guys a little bit loose, some guys a little bit tight. As Brody Hanna touching the wall now, he seems to have lost his focus. He might be listening to us, Brad. I'm not sure.
He might be. It's that showman comment, I'm telling you. I'll tell you what, though, who's not losing their focus is that 45 of Tracy Powers. He has cut the lead down to almost half a second. He is definitely coming. Bernard Person that last lap at 33.3. Or Tracy Powers a 10th faster with the 33.2. So he is definitely coming to the front.
Just amazing to watch here as the 45 seemingly is running down our race leader, doing an excellent job here. I think he'll have the lead here in another 4 or 5 laps as we're on lap 34 at 117. Bernard Person leading right now, Tracy Powers in second, Bobby Terrell third, Ronnie Royal in fourth, Sherwood Williford fifth. Then you got Hanna, Allen, Cooper Jr., Spear, and Mcmullen, your top 10.
Yeah, if we look a little bit further back in the field, Jared Carr, that's 7. The 45 of Tracy Powers' teammate. Looks like he had a lot of damage. Looks like he got into the wall. He's currently 3 laps down, torn up race car. So, a race that he definitely wishes he could have back, but not doing nearly as well as the 45 of Tracy Powers.
Yeah, super unfortunate for Jared Carr. We thought maybe he was playing it a little bit cool tonight, saving some stuff, but he's going to have a ton of work to do. So we get back to this race here with the 33, the 4, and the 23 as they continue to battle on track. Ronnie Royal checked out from this battle just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to fight tooth and nail, and you just kind of have to think how much of the stuff are they burning up, really fighting for these positions. I mean, we're 36, 37 laps into this. We're going to be closing in on possible pit stops soon. What's the different strategies that are going to come out of this battle?
Yeah, it is super important here as we come up. We're on lap 37 at 117. So for those guys who are on a 2-stop strategy, pit stops are imminent. But anybody trying to do one, got to go to 59 laps, 58 laps. We'll see. I can't wait to see how this plays out. After last night, Brad, you just don't know until the last lap how it's going to play out.
Yeah, you really don't. And, unfortunately, there's quite a bit of gap right now between our front 2 and Ronnie Royal, about 4 seconds. Tracy Powers, it seems like he loses 2 tenths and then he'll gain it back. I mean, that's just a matter of this track, bad corners. But it does seem like he's consistently starting to close the gap on Bernard Person. At this particular point, if you're Tracy Powers, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to go the 3-stop route? Are you going to try to just, go with Tracy Powers or go with whatever Bernard Person does? Because this is your best race you've had all season long. This is your best point showing. The last thing you want to do is do that call that just costs you everything.
Yeah, as it looks like he was pushing a little bit too hard in that last corner, getting up a little high. I don't know, Brad. I don't know what call he makes, but I'll tell you, in this series, if you want to win, you got to be able to roll the dice, man. Just follow the leader usually doesn't work here. You got to do something different. You can see he is just pushing a little bit high in the corner. I don't know if that's on purpose or not as that high line continues to work its way in. This gap pretty much maintaining itself right here for now.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if they both pit on the same lap, because I think if they honestly both pit on the same lap, Tracy Powers is going to have the advantage with the exception of, any type of adjustments, because he came from a long way back. He started from 6th place. Granted, Bernard Person started from 5th. He was able to close the distance a lot better to the leaders in the first couple of laps, but Tracy Powers kind of bided his time and made it happen as we look a little bit further back and, 33.
Oh, the 14
Williford
is in. The 14 who was on the move is down pit road. He is elected for the first taker for this 2-stopper, and I like it. I mean, if you're going to do it, commit to it. It's lap 41. It's time. It's actually past time. So their first person who's up there racing for towards the lead is in pit road.
Yeah, we're going to have to monitor him and see what kind of times he's going to make up on these guys because, going back up front, Sherwood Williford, he's just gotten around the 81 Irani Royal for that third position. Again, started 13th, currently our largest mover in the race. So what is he going to do? I mean, he's currently 4.5 seconds back. So it's going to be very interesting as it sounds like we're going to have more cars coming to pit road shortly.
Yeah, once one comes in, I see Terry Cooper Jr. is in already. A lot of guys going in. This will be interesting. There's no way. I got to think that it's like the 71 of Casey Mcmullen will come in. He's going to try and roll the dice and go the whole distance. We'll see how this plays out. Super interesting. Right now our leaders continue to roll. And now Bernard Persson, I don't know, maybe opening back up a little bit. Pretty much status quo between our top two.
Yeah, the 23 of Brody Hanna on his way to pit road.
So the 23 down and into his pit stall here.
Looks like the 17, he's out. Stephen Loomis, he elected to come to pit road.
Very interesting decisions here as our top 9 still out here, maybe more than that. Right now, you got to think the main players in this for the gas, if there was any gas saving to be done, would probably be Casey Mcmullen, maybe Jason Spear as well, and possibly a Jason Martin back here in the 9 car is saving a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, right now the closest battle on the track is going to be between the 33 of Sherwood Williford and the 81 Irani Royal. That's going to be the closest battle on the racetrack itself. It sounds like we're hearing the 9 of Jason Martin. He's going to be coming to pit road. He's going to relinquish that 8th position to come to pit road as he barely gets in. He might have clipped the cone even. He might have a penalty. We're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Oh, that'd be super unfortunate for him.
He definitely knocked it down. Whether or not he's going to get issued a penalty will be in. We'll have to wait and find out.
Back up front, Bernard Persson continues to lead Tracy Powers. Sherwood Williford now into 3rd place. He was the fastest in a long run last night. Had an unfortunate accident with the 4 of Bobby Terrell. Took him out. Looks like he's picked up right where he's left off. Ronnie Royal now making his way up to 4th place. Bobby Terrell has fallen back to 5th. Then it's Spear, McMullen, Darrell Spear, Jason Martin, and Lane Allen in your top 10.
Yeah, Lane Allen currently, I believe, is the first car to take new tires. He's running a 3150 to our leader, Bernard Persson, running a 3350. So Bernard Persson is currently giving up 2 seconds a lap to Lane Allen, our first car down pit road. So he's going to have to really get down pit road or he's going to give up all of his lead plus some.
That is something else. What a difference that is. As we're on lap 47 here, this could be highly interesting as they've got to do about 58, 59 laps. The likes of these top 9 that are still on here. I mean, if they're on a 2-stopper, why are they still on the track, Brad?
Yeah, you got to think that they know a little bit something else, that they think that they're going to run a fast enough time to be able to make up this difference over the long run and not hope for a caution. And you know what? FTSR racing, that's what this is all about. Long green flag racing and whatnot. Sometimes it can bite you, and we're just going to have to play it out and see what exactly happens.
Definitely
I'll tell you
will.
Sorry, not to cut you off there, but I'll tell you what's going to happen is that 45 of Tracy Powers, he's cut it down to under a half a second to Bernard Persson, so he's still coming.
Yeah, he's still coming, and he is still running a different line than almost anybody on the track. It's fun to watch here where multi-group racing seems to have returned to iRacing. I love it.
Yeah, he is super wide in 1 and 2. It seems like 3 and 4 he's running a little bit high, but not nearly the wall like he's running in 1 and 2. He's able to make it work. He's getting good speed down the straightaways and whatnot. But it's like anything else, you go into that corner one time and you make one little mistake. There's not a whole lot of distance between yourself and the wall in order to make a mistake.
As we see now the gap at about a 0.7 to 0.6. Very close. Still pretty much status quo, though. I mean, these two mirroring times quite a bit.
Yeah, they really are. It's going to be really interesting once they come to pit road and see what exactly who's going to do. If we look back a little bit further, we got Sherwood Williford currently in our third position. He's currently being overtaken by Brody Hanna in that 23 and Lane Allen, two cars that have already completed their pit stops as they're going to make their way back up. So they're going to be up to our leaders here in just a few seconds, and they're going to be able to unlap themselves, which could be really bad for the likes of the 8 of Bernard Person, because we know generally you're going to lose a lap when you go to pit road here.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys here, the 23 and 14, this could be a race within a race. This could be for the race win. If the two-stopper does work, I mean, the likes of Bernard Person, Tracy Powers, Sherwood Williford, Ronnie Royal, they've made a big error by not pitting by now. They're obviously at this point thinking they can make it on one.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're giving up so much time a lap. Currently right now, Brody Hanna turned a 31.77 on that last run. Bernard Person with a 33.5. And that's only getting worse. I mean, he's got Jared Carr, a lap car, to his inside, currently 3 laps down with damage, and he's seen his, just being able to pull right on past Bernard Person. So Brody Hanna's coming up to him, the 14. So his lap times are just going to get worse as these lap cars come and really give him a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, you see them go around the 8 of Bernard Person here. Brody Hanna did, like he was standing still. Lane Allen too, down to the inside, no problem at all. The 45, this has given him the opportunity to close up closer to the 8 as they continue to battle for the lead here.
Yeah, and you know what, Tracy Powers having the race of his lifetime right now. I really can't say that. I mean, he's a very good competitor. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second, but at the same time, he's in the same predicament as Bernard Person. He might not have made the right call. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can make it to that magic number to where they can do it within their fuel window.
Yeah, this is very interesting as we're on lap 54. Coming up on lap 55 of 117. Still got to do 3 or 4 more. I mean, I would think 4 more on your first stint, so you're a little bit more certain on the other one. But we'll see. This is highly intriguing. As this brings in another question. Why did these other guys pit if our leaders driving this hard can make it? Maybe they just thought the tires alone and that time that you're talking about was enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I gotta think that they know that they can make it. As it sounds like their 32 of Darrell Spear is going to come to pit road this time. He was running currently in the 10th position. Our last car, kind of holding out, if you will, on this strategy. So it sounds like they think that they're going to be able to make it, but there's been a lot of lap times that have ticked off. I mean, where they've been losing 2 to 3 seconds a lap. It's going to be very interesting. Currently, Brody Hanna, he's 29 seconds back from our leader. He's definitely going to be able to leapfrog them in the cycle of pit stops. If there's a caution, that's definitely going to change everything we know. But, the 8 and the 45 are right on top of the 45's been able to close. He's within striking distance of the 8 right here before we come to pit stops.
Yeah, this is an amazing battle as you see him just graze the wall here. The 8 down low, the 45 still on that little bit higher line, getting that big run off. He's going to run right up to the bumper of the 8 car.
And you know what? This says worlds for that 45. That 45's got a long run car, and I got to think on even tires, I got to think that 45's a little faster. So he's able to just pull down to the bottom and rotate through and clear the 8 car on the front stretch and take over this lead.
Yeah, amazing to see the 8 roll over and let him go by. Don't know if we see that too often here. That was something. He must have really, his car is going away as you see the 45 beginning to open up a big lead here.
Yeah, I got to think that 8 car is going to be the pit lane very soon.
Yeah, this is a tire issue, or he might be saving fuel. It's hard to say. We're on lap 58 here. The 45 actually looking slow here.
8 coming to pit road.
So the 8
Bernard
is in.
Person.
This is on lap 58. This is not enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
he tried to go as far as he can. I gotta agree that he tried to go as far as he can. As Tracy Powers able to complete 59. Is he going to be in on this time? We're gonna have to wait and see.
yeah, doing that extra lap will give you such security on the next run. I don't know. Maybe you got enough. You got enough. It's hard to say at this point. The
Yeah,
45.
Looks like the 45 is going to come in. He's going to come in basically on lap 60. We know he's going to be good. I'm going to have to say that the 8 is going to be good as well. I mean, he came in on 59, so he should be all right. That would give him 1 lap to the good, not a whole lot. If we get a green-white checkered or something like that, he's definitely going to have to come to pit road, but the 45 in currently.
45 is in, and right now that gives it over to Sherwood Williford and Ronnie Royal here. They'll be first and second. They're going to do even 1 more lap. So these guys definitely are going to be okay for the rest of the race. That's going to include the likes of Casey Mcmullen, who's actually, he is still on the track as well.
Casey McMullen's still on the track. He's followed by Brody Hanna. Brody Hanna, we know, is already pit. We know he's not going to be able to make it to the end. So he's currently 6 seconds back from Casey McMullen on the racetrack. So we know he's going to pit one more time. We expected this out of Casey McMullen. Let's be honest. He's going to go the long distance. He's actually going to complete another lap and stay out. So he's definitely going to have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, no problems about fuel there, but they are losing chunks of time as Brody Hanna and Lane Allen are running hot and heavy here together. They are doing some fantastic times.
Yeah, as we hear the 71 of Casey McMullen, he's going to be pitting this time. So he's had enough. He's made his mark. He's going to come down and get himself some 4 fresh rubbers.
All right, up front still, the 81 continues to lead, and they're both coming in here. Look like a strange, or they're coming off pit road. I was going to say, that was one heck of a strange entrance to pit road, but they're coming off pit road. So our 2 leaders now, that's going to hand the lead over to Brody Hanna, back in the auto zone car, back in the zone, if you will. This might be his race.
Yeah, but you see to the bottom right there, the 4, Bobby Terrell, he's unlapping himself right now. So mark at lap 62, Bobby Terrell in that 4 car was able to unlap himself. So he's got a fast race car. He's got the freshest tires out of everybody on the circuit, with the exception of Bernard Persons. And that's really where we're looking at it. We're looking at Bernard Person. He's 19.6 seconds behind. The only person in front of him is Casey McMullen, and he's just coming out of pit road right now, so I don't think that's going to stand. So, yeah, Bernard Person, 18.3 seconds. He's going to be coming, and he's going to be coming in a hurry, and he can make it to the end.
Yeah, well, maybe. Bernard's a little iffy. The 45 for sure can. But Brody Hanna, now let's talk about where he was on the track when he first pitted. You got to think he was about, in that 10 seconds behind, behind Bernard Person. He pitted. He worked his way all the way back around him and back to about around the 20 seconds behind him, right? So right now, the way I look at it is Bernard Person is going to have to open up a pretty big gap on that car, that 23 car. So he's going to have to get by him before the 23 pits and open up a gap.
It's almost a question where if you've got 16 seconds on Bernard Person, do you go ahead and forego letting him use those fresh tires to get to you and pit now and kind of try to claw it back early? Or do you really stay the course? Because I think Bernard Person can make it. He pitted in on lap 59, so you would think he was 1 lap to the good. You think he should be able to at least make it to 118. Others pitted on,
Well, you
Tracy
pitted
Powers.
on the start on the completion of 58. So right on the start of lap 59 is when he pitted. So it's still questionable.
Yeah, I got to think it'll be all right just because Tracy Powers was able to go that 1 extra lap. But, let's not look at it as gift horse in the mouth. Tracy Powers is there. I said it before. If they started at even track position on even tires, I think Tracy Powers is faster than Bernard Persons.
Yeah, Tracy Powers looking for his first win, I believe, here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. He's been getting better and looking better all the time. This could be his night, man. He looks awful strong out here. Anybody who can hang with this 8 car, on a short run and then be better on a long run, they're going to be dangerous. And this could definitely be his race, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, we know he can make it. He pitted on lap 60, 61. Argumentatively, he's got 1 lap fresher tires. How much that's going to do for him is kind of debatable. But the biggest difference is he's there. I mean, he gave up a lap of fresh tires to Bernard Persons. You would think he would lose about a second or two. He's right on the back door right now, and they're currently closing in on our leader. They're only 12 seconds back. They've already made up 6 seconds on Lane Allen, as Lane Allen has been able to get around Brody Hanna up front.
Okay, so that could be big too. Lane Allen becomes our new leader here in the 14, and this could be also for the race win. We don't know how it's all going to play out. Down on the inside, you see the 83 of Jason Spear down there, and down shoots the 23, goes down low. He's going to look to make a move here.
Absolutely, they're racing tooth and nail. Forget the fuel mileage strategy. They're going to race it out. I'm not going to say that they're hoping for a caution, but they're going to fight tooth and nail.
Yeah, they go side by side down here. What an amazing battle this is. Through the corner, side by side, the 23 a little loose on the bottom. The 14 going to get a little bit better runoff. He squirms around a little bit.
That's 71 a case of Mcmullen with those fresher tires, just going to the outside. He's got to be very careful. He doesn't want to rustle any feathers. He knows he's faster than all of the cars around him, but he's got to kind of pick his way through it as he goes to the inside. It looks like it's going to open the door for the 23 of Brody Hanna to make his move.
Yeah, he did. The 14 had to make a little avoidance move on the 71 there. No wrongdoing by the 71, but you see that high side once again prevailing here tonight. It looks so much better as the 23 squiggling all over the place. Back down low, the 14 powers on by.
Now what this is doing is this is allowing those front runners behind them of Tracy Powers and Bernard Person to close the gap now under 6 seconds at 5.8, 5.9 respectively. Tracy Cooper Jr. been able to close the gap. He's now 2.5 seconds back too. So, it's definitely entertaining for us.
It's super entertaining. So now the question is, how much do you let them close in on you? When do you pit? Now you're thinking lap 40, but you can't. You don't want to be too regimented. You want to have time on the track to catch them. Do you come in a little bit early? Maybe with 42 to go instead of 40 to go. I don't know, Brad. So much to think about.
Yeah, there really is. And you know what? We know from right now, anytime they pit right now, they'll be good to go to the end. Right now, you got to sit there and you got to think, well, do I play the long run strategy? Do I hope for the caution? FTSR racing, there is no cautions. These guys run green flag, race to race all the time, clean racing. So do I hope against hope and go for the caution and go for the long run and try to end up, or do I shortcut it? I mean, we're on lap 73. These guys can pit right now. Come in, they'd have about a 3-second advantage over Bernard Person, which we know is going to be our leader. And that's 3 seconds they don't. Well, that's 3 seconds they don't have to make up.
I'm just saying, Tracy Powers, don't forget about him. He's still right there. He could get, and he's right to the bumper of the 8 there in middle of the corner.
Now, if I'm Tracy Cooper Jr. right now, I just got passed by the 2 people I know can make it to the end. I'm pitting right now. I'm not giving up any more time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to come in, time to get that fresh rubber, maybe make up some track position on the 23 and the 14. Hard to say, though. These are always difficult decisions to make.
I'll tell you what, if you look up front, the 23 and the 14, they're not done battling for this lead. They don't care who's coming or how fast they're coming. This is a battle for the lead, and it sounds like the 23 is actually going to be coming to pit road right now.
Yeah, he's hurt us. He's in. No, it's a great call by the 23, in my opinion. We'll see if it plays out right. Been wrong before, but the 23, the AutoZone machine, Mr. Brody Hanna down pit road.
No, I think it's a great call. I mean, don't wait till they get to you and pass you to come to pit road. Try to at least, eke out a 1-2 second advantage over the people that you're chasing. That's 1 or 2 seconds that you don't have to make up.
And right now we see the 8 and a 45 coming to the inside of the 14 as this battle rages on, a race within a race. Bernard Person back on the point, the 45 back into second place. That 14 car has got to get to pit road and get there now.
Absolutely. It's Brody Hanna, our 23. He's just exiting pit road right now. So he will lose a lap for pitting early. It's just going to be a matter of how much time is he going to be able to make up? Is he going to be able to make up not only the distance from the leaders to make up his lap, but also to be able to come back around? It'll be an interesting conclusion to see what happens.
Yeah, it seems like a tall order at this point as the 14 does come down pit road. Looks like he's got a safe entry here. Looks like maybe the 9 car. No. That's Lane L. It looks like Terry Cooper Jr. is on pit road. So the 2 Blackwater teammates are in. Brody Hanna back on the track, trying to lay down those fast laps and catch up, get unlapped here. That's going to take some doing. Our leaders, though, battling for the race lead. The 8 of Bernard Person, the 45 of Tracy Powers, as they're nose to tail here, lap after lap.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you're Bernard Person, you're sitting out front. You know, you're currently in the standings. You're the points leader. You got 1 point ahead of Bobby Terrell, your arch nemesis, if you will. He's currently running in the 8th position. How much do you really push this? You know, Tracy Powers, young driver, very hungry for a win in this series, really hounding you on the back bumper. Are you going to put yourself in jeopardy? Are you going to go for the race win, or are you going to play a points race tonight?
He was out there. He put the car on the outside. He's got a big run down the outside here. He's going to try and get to the outside. He just can't quite get there, though. I mean, he really, last lap, he had a nose, even with the back tire of the 8.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who actually has the longer run car, who made the better adjustments on that pit stop. Is the 45?
Oh, there's contact! My goodness, slight contact, a little wiggle from the 45. The 8's going to come right on by again. Wow, I can't believe they didn't crash there.
Yeah, that's scary right there. I mean, you know, it's 2 drivers just giving it their all. Unfortunately, it didn't quite stick when they thought they were going to, but you know what? They're going to reset. They're going to take 1 corner off, and they're going to be right back at it, right on the back of each other's bumpers.
Well, these are the things. When you're looking for your first win, I don't care how experienced and how good a racer you are. You're in a new league with some guys, and you're looking for that first race win. These nerves get to you. Any little mistake can cost you. It might not even have been his mistake. It's never easy to win, Brad.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is that makes you wonder, you know, if you're in the mind of the 45 of Chase Byers, are you going to make that move again? Will it stick? Will it not? Will you be a little bit hesitant to put on that move? And that's one of those things you just got to put it out of your mind. You got to sit there and say, hey, that move's still in my arsenal. I just have to do it a little bit different. And, you know, you can't hold back because he's going to go to the outside. He's going to try to carry that speed off the exit. It looks like he's going to have it to at least pull even.
Yeah, this is what he did last time. This time he got a much better run through the trial here, through the start finish. He's going to take the lead, and I got to think he's going to set sail now. He's got some clear track. He's clearly looking a little faster than the 8 car at this point. Put Tracy Powers, the 45, on the point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I said it earlier, if they're on the same strategies, the same tires from the same track position, I thought the 45 was a little bit faster. It's going to have to wait and see what happens. He might have burned up his stuff a little bit too early trying to get by the 8. At the same time, you know, that slight bit of contact, who knows what could have happened between the 2 cars, whether or not one got a little bit of damage and is kind of ailing from that. We're going to have to wait and see.
As we look behind them, guess who's coming? The 23 of Brody Hanna now, 35 to go. Fresher tires. I don't know if he's got enough to get, you know, the fastest lap he had was a 31.390. I don't think he's got enough time left to get these guys. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. I think he's only got about a 1 second advantage right now, and that time's only going to start coming down the further down the laps we get. He's going to have to make up a lap basically. I think his best bet right now is a caution.
Yeah, you get around this car and get a caution. I mean, he's sitting in ninth place. I don't know. It's still going to be close. At a second a lap, that puts him right there. But, I mean, I think this is going to be a net gain for the 23, but I don't know if he'll run all the way around the track and catch our leaders again. Right now, Tracy Powers leading this race. Bernard Person falling back about a second back now. Ronnie Royal in third. You've got the 33 of Sherwood Williford back in fourth. In fifth is Bobby Terrell. Jason Martin having a nice showing tonight, up in sixth place after starting ninth. Casey Mcmullen Sr. sitting in seventh in the 71 machine. The 83 of Jason Spear, another solid night, currently running in eighth spot. Then you got Brody Hanna and Lane Allen in 10th spot.
Absolutely, so we cycle through again, FTSR racing, green flag racing all the way. I think, Tracy Byers has got exactly what he's got. He's stretched his lead out to about a 1.2 second lead. We know he can make it to the end. Bernard Persons, we were somewhat questionable. We thought he was about a lap to the good. Is it a little bit where Bernard Persons is going to back off a little bit, try to save just a little bit of fuel, and then try to make another run at him? It sounds like we have takers to pit road again. It sounds like we got Jason Martin currently in the sixth position coming to pit road. That's definitely going to help Brody Hanna, who's already pitted. So more cars coming to pit road. So we're not done with this lineup.
No, we are not done yet, as the 9 does come down. Tracy Powers out there running hard. You talked about the 8. Is that maybe what's going on? Maybe he is saving a little bit here, knowing he's got to do one extra lap to his last run and just making sure that he can make it.
Bernard Person, such a cagey veteran, and that's why he is the points leader. Currently, one of the most decorated racers out here as far as the points championship. Having to put up a lot, strategy is something not new to him at all. So he could very well be. He's currently about a second and a half back. He's not losing a whole lot of time. Seems like about a tenth every couple of laps. He's able to make up actually 3/10 that particular lap on Tracy Powers. Could be a matter of traffic or anything like that, as Tracy Powers is trying to make his way. He's got Steve Loomis in front of him. He's got Tracy Byers coming up to him. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
It is not over. And we're looking at the 23 right now. We're going to mark him at the line here. We'll take a lap with him. Maybe we'll go in his cockpit here. So at the line, you got about a 27-second he is behind here. So we head in the cockpit at the 23 of Brody Hanna.
Absolutely, and you can see this track. It's kind of a little bit difficult to get your bearings a little bit just because of how dark it actually is. But the car naturally wants to slide up on the racetrack, and then you see these little dark spots. It's hard to really get your momentum and get your marks.
And it looks like he picked up just under a second, which would be really close to where he needs to be. Got to be just a little bit better, maybe.
I got to think that those lap times are going to start slowly siphoning off. That particular lap, he was at a 32.40, where our leader was at a 33.4. So again, still a second a lap. It could work out the other way, where Tracy Powers starts to lose a little bit more. It's going to be very interesting to see, though, because I do think Tracy Powers is going to start losing a little bit more time to the tire drop-off that Brody Hanna has.
It's so hard to tell. I mean, I think we always talk about, can you do an extra stop or not? The way that I always assess it is there a gradual drop-off that continues throughout the run? That's helpful to the guy trying to do an extra stop. If it comes to a point and it just kind of plateaus, that's not very good for the chasers. So I think, the 23 has chose the right track, the right conditions to attempt this. I just don't think he's got enough time quite yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because you know what? Don't look now. That 8 of Bernard Person is starting to eat into the 45's lead. He's already clawed back a half a second. Currently at 0.7 seconds back. It looks like that 8 car is solid on the bottom. It's just kind of on rails, being able to rotate the bottom, where again the 45, he's just going to take that little bit of a higher line. So it's a matter of, did the 45 kind of use up his equipment where he didn't do it on that first run, really trying to close the distance on the 8 car?
Super interesting. Perhaps just cooling those tires down, like you said, being that cagey veteran and set for another run here. Amazing to see the 8 kind of closing back in here.
It seems like they're kind of trading lap times, but one thing is definite, the 8 car is better on the bottom than the 45, but we've seen the 45 make up distance and make up time on the outside.
Yeah, we've seen him run that high line to a great degree of efficiency. As we look back now at teammates, a 33 and 81 battling here. This is for your third place battle as they go side by side to the start finish line.
Both of these drivers having a great night, starting 11th and 13th respectively. You know, going into this race, you know, you come rolling off 11th and 13th and you're battling for 3rd and 4th. That's a great points night. You know, we expect both of them to do well every week. You know, Sherwood Williford, he's generally in our top 10, makes that pass, currently takes over the 3rd position. You know, I don't think anybody's surprised to see him in the top 5.
Nobody is surprised at all. Maybe just a little bit that the speed he's had at this track seemingly fit in the 33 very well. He's been the fastest car on long runs in both races. Now, I don't want to say he's the fastest car tonight, Tracy Powers maybe, or Bernard Persson, but he is definitely quick on the long run.
Sherwood Williford is currently the 3rd fastest in our top 5 for sure. Tracy Powers edges him out just a little bit. Bernard Person's actually just a 10th faster than Tracy Powers. Then you got Sherwood Williford. And then once we get back into, of course, Brody Hanna currently running a 3280, the fastest car on the track. But with that being said, he's only now about a half a second a lap faster than our leaders. So those tires might be starting to equalize a little bit in the favor of 45 or Tracy Powers, unfortunately for Brody Hanna.
Yeah, Brody Hanna back here dealing with the 7 car as they almost have contact. Brody Hanna right there on the bumper trying to squeeze down low. You know he won't, if he's getting slighted, he won't feel good about it. He'll put the 7 in his place if he has to.
Yeah, and obviously the 7's got a little bit fresher tires, but at the same time, the 7 is teammates to the 45 or Tracy Powers there. I'm not going to say that was intentional or whatnot, but I think that was more of a matter of fresh tires, you know. But at the same time, the 7 car is 3 laps down as Jason Martin's going to close in on the back of Brody Hanna as well with fresher tires.
Yeah, these guys are hindering his progress forward. The 23, like we said, going to have a net gain tonight. I think he'll get by Bobby Terrell. He could possibly catch Ronnie Royal. That's doubtful, but still a nice top 5 run for him. But up front, Tracy Powers looking for his first win here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. Doing a great job being chased by the familiar 8, the Hellman's car, Mr. Bernard Persson.
Yeah, he's been able to step it out the last couple of laps, down to a 1.3 second lead, but you know what? This is where you get it that, you know, you're getting a little bit intense. You know, you haven't won here. You know, it's been a while since you've been to victory lane. You start hearing those things. You start missing your marks just a little bit. You look in the mirror. You get, you know, that little 1/10 of a second, so you push a little bit harder and you miss a little bit more and you lose a little bit more time. It's going to be very interesting to see. You know, this is always a very nervous point with a new win on the line. So
maybe you can tell us, Brad, now, is Tracy Powers in the top 10 in points? Because you know we only have one victory in the top 10. That's 10th place, Jason Spear. Could this be another winner from outside the top 10?
It will be. Tracy Powers is currently in the 16th position, and you know what? He hasn't even had a top 5 this season. Not only will this be his first win, this will be his first top 5 in the entire series. He's only had 2 top 10s.
How amazing this series is. Week in and week out, someone sets, you know, the pace, jumps out front, gets a win. I mean, it's just amazing. 10th place is in points is your first race winner. And we're including names along the lines of Bernard Persson, Ronnie Royal, Bobby Terrell, I mean, Terry Cooper, Casey Mcmullen, all these, none of them
No, it just tells you, these guys, they may have points leads over the guys in the back, but the guys in the back sit there and they say, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't win this championship. Maybe I don't. But you know what? I can win this race. And that's what they're doing. All of these guys in the back, they're putting these front runners on notice. They're saying, you know what? I may not be able to win the championship right now off of this race, but I'm going to show you I'm here to compete, and I'm going to be a thorn in your side. You're not just going to take this championship and walk away from us. You're going to have to contend with us throughout the entire series.
Right now we look in on the 23, battling with the 4 of Bobby Terrell. He's going to come underneath here. He's going to take that spot, so put the 23 of Brody Hanna up to 5th place. He's going to have his work cut out for him, trying to get any more out of this than that, with Ronnie Royal about 15 seconds ahead of him still. But a great job by the 23, a nice strategy call. He'll grab himself a top 5 tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to make the distance between Ronnie Royal. Ronnie Royal, that lap turned a 33.3. Brody Hanna a 33.3. So I think the tires have definitely equalized between those, as our leader, Tracy Byers, did a 33.8. So I think he'll be able to possibly definitely keep his top 5. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make any ground. But you know what? Bernard Persons, again, mounting another charge, was able to make up a half a second in the last 3 laps on Tracy Powers. Has closed the gap to 0.8, about half a second right now. He continues to close the gap.
Yes, we see Jason Spear kind of getting out of the way of those two there. The battle rages on for the lead. You talked about the 8 before. You just can't count him out. You don't know his thought process. He cooled those tires down, maybe saved a little gas. He's back on the move. Tracy Powers got to hold it together now for 12 more laps.
And you can see Tracy Powers on the exit. He's really pushing the car. The car's sliding out to the wall where Bernard Persons, he's able to make the corner, stay at the bottom the entire time as we're going to go into 1. Tracy Powers runs that little bit of higher line like he's done all night, where Bernard Persons is going to go a little bit more to the bottom. But here in 3 and 4 is really where their lines are completely different. Tracy Powers kind of runs the top side and then pushes it on the exit, pushes it all the way out to the wall, where Bernard Persson makes up a little bit of time being able to keep it more to the bottom.
Oh, and the power is into the wall a little bit there down the straightaway. No harm, no foul, as he continues to lead here, down to about 0.6 seconds at the line.
Yeah, that might not have hurt his car, but, that might have hurt his psyche. He knows he's looking in the mirror, and he's got Bernard Persson, so, somebody who's been solid the entire series, top 10s, and he's really pushing it. He knows his car is getting a little bit tight. That's why he's pushing out. And just that little scrape, you're sitting there, you're like, man, I can't do that. And the worst thing you can do is talk yourself out of a victory here. You got to refocus and just hit your marks.
Nothing comes easy here as we're on 10 to go. The Hellman's car is there. Bernard Persson still chasing. He will not allow this to be an easy win for that 45. He's going to have to fight each and every one of these 10 laps.
Yeah, he really will, because Bernard Persons is definitely coming. The difference you saw in 1 and 2 there, the 45 went in a little bit more shallow. He's not going to push out nearly as much as you see Bernard Persson actually push out a little bit, running an uncharacteristic line through 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, he's starting to push that car for all it's worth. Maybe, like we just talked about, heating up those tires. We've seen these cars trade times. One faster for 5 laps, the other faster for another 5. Oh, as you see, a good run from the 8 there as he closes back in.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. They're trading corners right now. Who's going to be the one that comes out on top? Is the 45 is going to sail it off a little bit. He's going to push. You see him. He's pushing in the center of the corner, having to make some corrections. The 8's going to be a little bit lower. The 8's going to have a run on him in 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is amazing to watch. 8 to go now. The 8 continuing to close in. The 45 looking for his first ever victory. You can just see that 8 in the middle of the corner grab another half car length.
And you saw that time the 45 tried to block that lane a little bit. He ran lower in 1 and 2 than he has the last few laps. The 8 car, he's going to go back it off a little bit sooner to make sure he gets that run on the bottom. Just keep it on the outside. 45 going to push it.
Wow!
He had to get out from getting into the wall. It's going to be the 8 on the bottom.
The 8 is going to go by with 7 to go. Now, Bernard Person has retaken the lead here from the 45 and Tracy Powers. Frustration starting to settle in. Can he regroup and get this lead back?
It's going to be close. I mean, they've been trading lap times back and forth, but you saw that a couple of times. The drivers altering their lines, trying to beat something that they hadn't done all night. And right now, the 8 of Bernard Person's able to hold it. The 45 right there on the top. He's going to get a great run on the front stretch. It's going to be very interesting to see who has the preferred line going into 1.
I don't know what is the preferred line between these two cars. The 45 way to the high side.
Well, he ran that line earlier and it had paid dividends to him, so we're going to have to see on the backstretch who gets the faster line, forces the 8 down low.
It seems like the 45 is where he wants to be. The 8's where he wants to be. As he gets to the outside of the 8 car now, they're side by side coming off the corner.
And you would think this is the last lap. They know that they cannot give any distance to either. Whoever gets clear is going to be the winner of this race, I got to think. As the 45 retakes it on entry, will he be able to hold it on exit?
Wow, that super high line prevailing again. It seems like both cars like to be behind the other one. As now the 45 powers out to a big lead. The 8 falling back surprisingly there.
As you see the 45 back out a little bit early, take a little bit of a shallow entry. Make sure he doesn't push out to the wall like he did the last couple of times, and that's going to be the difference. The 8 car falling back, he's currently, we see at the line, he's going to be about 6'10". He lost over half a second that lap alone.
That is crazy how this is playing out. We've seen this all race long. One comes, one goes, and then it switches, and then it switches back. Can he do it one more time? Can the 8 run him down again?
It's going to be very interesting to see. He's not going to have a lot of time to cool those tires. He continues to run the bottom of the racetrack as the 45 of Tracy Powers tends to like that middle groove and kind of run through the high side as the 8 likes the bottom. So you got to think that the 45 of Tracy Powers, but at the same time, Bernard Person took 0.2 of a second back that lap.
Yeah, he's coming again. I told you, nothing comes easy here. He passed him. He had the lead. It seemed like Tracy Powers just all of a sudden pulled a magic lap out after that, and not only passed him, but took a big lead after that. But here we go. The 8 coming around. We're going to take it to 2 to go here. The 45 of Tracy Powers, your race leader. The Hellman's machine, the 8 of Bernard Person, still chasing.
Yeah, that time Tracy Byers was a little bit faster, but you know what? I don't even know how he can see the corners as much as he's looking in his mirror right now, because you know he's got to be doing that.
Oh man, it's so intimidating to see someone, the points leader, right there. He's already done it to you once. He might do it again, but right now, Tracy Powers, this is his race to lose. He's looking for his first ever victory here. Couldn't be more excited to see the 45 coming to the line here to grab the white flag. 1 to go.
1 to go is Tracy Powers. He's going to go barreling off into turn 1. He knows he's got Bernard Person's, our points leader, right behind him. It looks like he's going to take it to the bottom. Bernard Person's going to be a little bit top on the top side, as he's going to have a little bit of an advantage going to the backstretch. We're going to see who gets through 3 and 4 better.
Yeah, the 45 down in 3. He's going to try and hold it down there a little bit. A little safe line here. He comes out of 4, nice and clean. He's going to come to the line as your race winner here. The Kentucky 175 in the Gearhead Coffee Grand National Series. I mean, what a great job. Tracy Powers grabbing his first ever FTSR race win.
Absolutely. You know, that was one heck of a race. It looked like Tracy Powers and Bernard Person were just going back and forth. You know who we didn't see? Sherwood Williford. He closed the gap to just over a second. He made up 4 seconds in 10 laps. He was definitely on the move. Another great run for Sherwood Williford. But the man in the hour, Tracy Powers, being able to take home a victory here at Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, as you can see, he comes down here to the start-finish line. I'm sure burnouts are coming. The excitement has got to be at an all-time max. He's going to be your race victor here at the Blackwater Products USA 175 from Kentucky Speedway. Wow, it's so fun to watch him celebrate there. That was quite a thrilling race again for us to broadcast and watch, Brad. So much going on, so many possibilities. Just par for the course here at Full Throttle Sim Racing.
Oh, it really is. I run in these races sometimes and whatnot, and they're a blast, and they'll wear you out. But you know what? Sitting up here in this booth and just being able to witness this, man, I'm tired. This has been one of those nights where they just kept you on edge all night, and it's been a thrill all night.
It really has. I'm worn out myself. It's hotter than heck out here. But we got Tracy Powers, man. We got to get it up for this 45, the Tracy Powers. I mean, he just did an awesome job. Big congrats to him on the race victory. Bernard Person will come home in second, the points leader, and he'll maintain and open up that gap slightly. Sherwood Williford in the 33 with a great run tonight. He'll come home in third. In fourth place, the 81 of Ronnie Royal. Brody Hanna on that two-stopper in the 23 will come home fifth. Terry Cooper Jr. makes a nice recovery up to sixth spot. Lane Allen will finish in seventh spot. Bobby Terrell in the 4 will take home 8th. Ninth place goes to the 71 of Casey Mcmullen. And Jason Spear in the 83 will round out the top 10.
That's right. In the 11th position, we're going to end up with David Hensley in that 43. Jason Martin in the 9th. In the 9th, he's going to come home 12th. 13th is going to be 17 of Stephen Loomis. Jared Carr in the 7th, teammate of our winner, is going to come home 14th. Followed by Daryl Spear, 15th, Brian Bliss, 16th, Will Long, 17th, Donnie Staubach is going to run out 18th, and our last contender of the night.
Yeah, we've seen a few unfortunate things happen to the guys down here, lower on the board. Tough night for some of them. Some early problems for Jared Carr, Will Long, Donnie Staubach, who had a great qualifying effort, but Tracy Powers pulls out the victory. I mean, I can't wait to talk to him, Brad. And we're going to get interviews with our top 3. We'll do all of that right after this short break. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway and the FTSR Grand National Series from Gearhead Coffee. This guy's great coming on. Blackwater Products USA sponsoring the race. We want to thank them too. What a show we had tonight, Brad. I mean, we talked extensively about it already. It was just great fun to broadcast that, though.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, these guys put on a show week in, week out. The FTSR Racing Series, not to be expected. Another green flag race. Green flag, start to finish. Great door-by-door challenges. Pit strategy came into play. I mean, what can you say other than, another excellent race? And you know what, Dean? I believe you're standing by with our third place finisher right now.
Yeah, I got the 33, Mr. Sherwood Williford. Third place tonight. A great showing. A great run again. Man, congrats on third place.
Appreciate it, Dean. It was a good race.
Yeah, man, we watched you. Now, we watched you last night. We don't often talk about the race before, but last night you were one of the fastest trucks out there on the long run. Got in a little accident, kind of ended your night. But again, here tonight, you really had the long run speed.
Yeah, it was kind of hit and miss in practice. We worked on it right till the last minute, and got the fuel situation straight, and I waited too long to go after them guys. Probably I should have went about 5 laps earlier.
Yeah, it's tough making these calls out here. So you seen some guys on the 2-stopper, others on the 1. Was fuel mileage a concern for you out there?
No, after I knew we made it to 60. Once I seen we got there, we was okay. And I want to have a little extra in case we had a green-white checker.
Yeah, absolutely. So Team Spear again with a nice showing, second and third. I mean, Tracy Byers getting his first victory. It's a thrilling race all along there. I think maybe Sherwood, if you had another 15 or 20 laps, you might have got them all.
Said I had a gallon and a half left. What I should have done was went after them sooner because I knew they were having to save a lot, and I should have went a little sooner. But Tracy done a hell of a job, man. Good, congrats on the win to him.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun seeing him get his first victory out here. We've seen you battling on the track with Ronnie. You guys seem to be close together all night long. Talk about some of the battles you had out there with Ronnie and maybe with some others as well.
Yeah, Ronnie, he was getting a little looser than I was, and it showed towards the middle of the run, towards the end of the run, and I was able to get around him there at the end and go after the first, second place guys, and just didn't go soon enough.
All right, man. Well, you did a great job. You take home third place. You got yourself a nice points run. A great showing for Team Spear over there. Congratulations again. We'll give you the floor for any shout-outs you want to make, Sherwood.
I appreciate you guys doing this broadcast. It's real fun for the league to watch. Appreciate the league itself. I mean, excellent place to race. I don't think there's no place better. And
I know Jesse.
Big shout out to Team Spear, man. We work hard and work together, and it pays off.
All right, Brad, that's our third place finisher, Sherwood Williford. Another stellar night for him. And I believe you got his teammate, the 8-car of Bernard Person.
I certainly do. You know what? I'm sitting here with the points leader, the man of the hour, one step too short for the winner of tonight. But, he's definitely going to go home with a little bit of an edge in the points, made up some ground on some competition, was able to extend his point lead. Bernard Persons, tell us how your night went. I mean, you fired right out of the cannon. You were able to go right up front, and you had some great battles throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean, we did all right. I know the other, last night we were working on a setup. We thought we had a decent setup, but when we came into the server, the car was undrivable. Didn't have much time to work on it, so I was like, I'm going to take the fixed setup, loosen it up, and see where it takes me.
Well, I'll tell you what, it took you to some great lengths. You came into this, you qualified 6th on the grid. You were able to make your way up to the lead very early. It was early on. It looked like it was going to be between you and Bobby. You were able to clear Bobby, kind of set sail. When you started seeing that 45 come in your mirror, he came back from just right behind you. What were you starting to think, especially when we were starting to come around pits?
Right. Well, that's the thing. When I looked like three laps before that, and I was like, I'm not going to make 60 laps or anything close to that. So I started backing up my corners, slowing down a little bit, and just to get that pit where I had to pit. And when I pitted and came out, I noticed I was going to be a half a lap short. So I had to slow up as well. And then I thought I saved some. And when I passed Tracy for the lead with a couple laps to go, I was like, nope, not going to make it. Got to back off.
So that's going to be one of those unfortunate events where, a little bit of valor and, overall looking at the points lead, you made the right decision. You're going to come home second place. Your main competition, Bobby Terrell, currently in the 8th position. For the night, you're definitely going to be able to extend your lead. Ronnie Roy's going to come home 4th, so you're going to get a little bit of points on him. I mean, and coming in here with the fix set, making a couple of adjustments. I mean, the competition really has to be worried about that. I mean, but what is it going to take for you to break through that hump? Get somebody in the top 9 in points to victory lane. I mean, that's something that's got to be on your mind. It's something that, as a past champion in this, you got to be looking forward to it, and you got to be ready to carry that banner into victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, I had some bad lucks with getting into wrecks, getting involved in some wrecks. Um, but it is hard to win a race here, and that just goes to show you the quality of guys in this league. They're top notch, and I think as long as I can keep consistent throughout the rest of the season, it's going to be close. I mean, you got Bobby, Tracy. I mean, Bobby's one of the top notch drivers here, and he's past champion back to back. So it just goes to show you how hard it is to even get a win.
Yeah, it really is. And, FTSR racing here, it's some of the best drivers in the leagues, green flag racing week in, week out. You don't get very many opportunities to get a mulligan, to get a reset or anything like that. You got to just make the best out of what you got week in and week out. And that's something that you've certainly done all season. With that said, I'm just going to step back and I'm going to kind of give you the floor, let you thank anybody you need to thank or give a shout out to any of your sponsors. And we just appreciate the hard racing that you put in every weekend and week out. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Like to thank everybody in this league for putting on a good show tonight. Like I said, the quality in this league is awesome. I'm honored to be a part of it. And I definitely have to give a shout out to my teammates. Without the hard work, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Well, I'm sure they certainly appreciate that. And we definitely appreciate what you put into this league week in and week out. And again, congratulations on your second place finish. Again, that's Bernard Person, our current points leader, second place. Dean, I believe you're standing by with the man of the hour, though.
Yeah, I've got the 45. Tracy Powers here, race winner here at Kentucky. How does that sound, Tracy? Winner.
I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear it more often, man. What a great performance tonight. Let's get right to the end of the race there. We're watching you. We've seen your long run capability. We've seen you get around the 8 of Bernard Person, open up a little gap, and then all of a sudden he's coming back on you. You're getting a little pushy into the wall a bit. He retakes the lead. What's going through your mind?
Well, yeah, I saw him coming, and I just knew, he's probably a lot smoother driver than I am, and definitely probably save tires a lot better than I can. And I was like, oh, here we go. So, yeah, he passed me, and I don't know, somehow I got lucky enough to get back around him, and that's how it worked out.
Well, we wouldn't call it luck. One thing we did notice, Tracy, we're watching you a lot. You're running a lot higher line, sometimes an extremely high line. Was that purposeful? Were you just getting in late? Or because it seemed like you were getting a heck of a run off the corner that way.
Yeah, I had run a couple of our official race in one of the other cars, and kind of noticed that the high line would work coming out of 4, especially towards the middle of the run later on. Just I don't know, just seemed to get some good grip up there. And once you get on the outside, pretty much they have to let off or they're going to pound you into the wall. And so I have to say thanks to everybody for not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It looked great out there. I love the different lines you guys were running. Let's talk a little bit earlier on in that last run. You guys come together. There's a little contact there, I believe, on the left quarter panel of yours, the rear there, and you get a little squirrely, but control it. You had to be that had to be a nervous moment as well.
Yeah, I had to apologize to Bernie for that. I went in hard and because I was trying to get around him. I knew if I didn't get around him early that I probably wasn't going to get him late, and probably drove in a little bit too hard. But I think maybe a little arrow push there too with being on the inside of him and just pushed right up into him and almost ruined both our nights. So fortunately we didn't.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch, man. All night long, you had that. You had Brody Hanna on the 2-stopper trying to run you guys down. We had concerns about fuel mileage and that constant switching of who was faster. He would open up a lead. You would open up a lead. Super entertaining. We're super happy for your victory, man. Tracy Powers, a 45 race winner here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. We love it. Big congratulations. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Just want to say thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and all the admin, Dean, Brody, Sherwood, everybody, Casey, and everybody for running the league. Great league. Shout out to ERA American Real Estate sponsor and Gearhead and Full Throttle Television and Jared and Jeff and Matt, my teammates.
All right, Brad, that's the Tracy Powers of 45, our race winner tonight.
Absolutely, one heck of a race. It shows you again. You don't have to be in the top 10 in points to be able to pull off a victory here. It seems like if you're in the top 10, you're kind of snake bitten outside of Jason Spear, of course, coming in 10th. What are these guys in the top 9 going to have to do to pull away a victory here?
I don't know. I just can't imagine the talent level we have at the top of the board, and we don't have those race wins there. It is amazing to see. It's what brings a joy into racing, to see the wins spread out amongst a group. Anybody can do it from any situation. It's just amazing. I mean, when will Bobby win? When will Bernard Person win? Sherwood Williford. I mean, I could go up and down the list. It's just amazing that they haven't had any victories.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what it does is it really highlights the importance of every single week running consistent, running clean, and getting the best finish you can get, because currently right now our top 9 has been able to do exactly that. No wins, but they've been able to manage the best result that they can get every single week. And, we're currently, 7 races, 8 races into this. Next week, New Hampshire, totally different track, totally different set of circumstances, and it's going to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you look ahead at the schedule. You've got New Hampshire, Michigan, Iowa, and we close out at Road America. I mean, a lot of differences there in those tracks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We cover it every Thursday right here on Full Throttle TV with the Gearhead Coffee Grand National Series. It's just an amazing series. Come out and support us every Thursday. We also got Wednesday nights. We got the Truck Series, the Full Throttle Sim Racing, the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Those guys, I mean, you got big fields, heavy competition. I mean, it's a lot of fun there too. Brad, all the action here on Full Throttle TV has just been top notch lately, man. It's been so much fun to call these races.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, I'm not surprised. The amount that these guys put into this week in and week out is just, it's a lot to say. And as a competitor, as a broadcaster, as just being a part of this league, it's a very special thing. And if you're not a part of it, this is something that you need to strive to be a part of. Hone your craft, put in your time, and this is exactly what you're going to get. Green flag races week in, week out, with the league, administration, and everybody who really cares.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, next Wednesday actually, 9 p.m. while the Truck Series, and Thursday at 9. But for tonight, man, Tracy Powers, our race winner here at Kentucky in the Blackwater Products USA Kentucky 175. And for myself, Dean Doucette, and for Brad Patterson, and for Full Throttle TV, that's going to wrap it all up. And we'll see you on Wednesday in the Truck Series.